I just want to welcome everyone for being here, for Johnny and Jordan and Bill and family. And um, this isn't what I normally do. Me and Johnny got connected years ago. I was a teacher for 42 years with special ed, adapted PE teacher, coaching and coaching wrestling and softball. So years ago, me and Johnny got connected at the Rock Academy. And I'm thank you for everyone being here and wearing your teal. My wife always dresses me, so she got me my teal socks and my teal shirt. So I'm looking the part. I'm just going to open with a prayer. So if you can just bow your heads. Lord Jesus, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for Claudia Golden and her life and how she ministered to so many people with your love while she walked this earth, Lord. And we thank you that she's in your arms now. And we just give you praise and glory. We pray that your Holy Spirit will move today on the ones here and continue to demonstrate your love in their lives. In Jesus' name, amen. So I have 8 children. My wife's right here, Joanne. She's a teacher. And so she was teaching at the Rock with my kids. So our kids were there at the Rock, and Johnny and my youngest son, Bryson, got connected as friends. And that's how our relationships began. I got to sit down with Johnny, and these are through the eyes and heart of a devoted son. And it's so cool because as we just talked about everything, it was so apparent Claudia's whole life is about relationships and connecting people together and taking advantage of every opportunity that she had. And it was so cool on how Johnny would share about his friends that would come and be part of his life would be mothered by his mother, that she would bring them in and love on them really well, and they would trust her in situations in their own lives when they needed someone to go to talk to. And so that kind of life is the kind of life that reaches out and touches so many hearts and lives. And this is from Isaiah 55. So many times in our lives, we come to points like this. You know, I'm so proud of John because he walked through this terrible time of cancer with his mother side by side, supporting her in everything, in every way. And probably I had the same experience with my mother who died of cancer, but it's amazing when you get to share in that, because I'm sure he saw, you know, different parts of his mother that he didn't see before, because it's so hard watching him walk through that trial. But the cool part is to know that there's a God that loves her, that's waiting for her. And Monica's here, and Monica lost Teresa, and Teresa, Johnny, and Bryce were all good friends. And when I just think of Claudia with Teresa dancing in heaven now, through all the pain that she had to go through before she got there. It says in Isaiah 55, 8-9, and I love this because it takes it away from us to try to figure it all out. And this is the Lord saying, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways." So he has a plan for us, a journey that we have to walk through, and he wants to walk through it with us. And Claudia knew that. You know, she had that solid relationship to know that she had him right beside her, and that she could walk through her journey with him at her side. These are some of the things that Johnny shared with me. His mom was his best friend. She was his anchor, his guiding light. And she has been that for so many people in her own life. And he said, you know, she was passionate about her job. She had the opportunity to travel around the country. She loved sales, but it was her hobby. Her real passion was raising her son and trying to lead him in the direction that she wanted him to go in. And it's so cool because, I've watched my wife mother my 8 children, and a mother's love is like so special, so pure, so passionate, never ending, willing to be there no matter what. And Johnny shared that he finds peace knowing that she's no longer in pain and she has a new body. And that's the hope that we look forward to. She would always look for the best in others. Anybody that she met, she would look for the best. And when you in the word, it says the fruits of the spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And it's amazing, as he shared about his mom, those attributes were evident throughout her life. And that's so exciting to see, that she had that impact on the people that she surrounded her life with. I want to share a couple other scriptures with you. It says in John 14, 1-3, don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God and trust also in me. There is more than enough room in my Father's house. If it were not so, I would have told you that I am going to prepare a place for you. When everything is ready, I will come and get you so that you will always be with me where I am. So the cool part too, as the testimony of Claudia's life goes on through us, through her family, through her friends, the love that she demonstrated to us, it's for us now to share that with the ones that we that surround us. And it's so cool on how you don't know the Lord's gonna lead into your life, but you know that he really wants you to love the people that he surrounds you with. And that comes to being really present with the people that come into your life, that you take advantage of the moment that you have with them. In fact, like this, Johnny and me coming back together, and I clearly know that it's for me to father him in ways that he knows he has me now. It's my house is an open door, because that's what a mother's love is. It's always placing her children in good hands, to know that there's people around that can continue to love on them and love them well. And that's what this life's all about. Is as I reflect back on my own life now, through the years, and realize that you want to take hold of each moment that you haven't that you are given with the people that he places in your life. And the more present you are in the present, right where you are, you'll get to see the opportunities that are there for you. And Claudia knew that. Claudia took advantage of that. And she wants us to do the same. If there's anything she could say to us today, be present with the people you're with. Love them well. Take every opportunity to love somebody that comes into your pathway. And sometimes they're not easy people. God does that all the time. He places people that are tough, that are rough, that have hard edges, but he wants you to love them and love them well. And if you do that, the cool part is he always blesses you. And Claudia knew that. The Lord blesses you in ways you never expected, in so many rich ways, beyond what you can imagine. And that's because of the relationships that he places into our lives. So Johnny was saying, my mom is so loving. She accepted everybody as they were and didn't cast judgment. She created a home wherever she went. She was known for her laughter, and she would be very protective of Johnny. And I just thank you that I even had this opportunity to be here to share with you. There's a couple other verses I wanted to go to. The first time I ever, when I was younger, my grandmother passed away, and I was reflecting back. I'm trying to figure out why. I'm not even sure why, because I was kind of the troubled kid. I grew up with six brothers and sisters, but I was kind of the rebel. And for some reason, they wanted me to go up at my grandma's and do the 23rd Psalm. But anyway, I was going to go to this. Psalm 34:18 says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirit is crushed. And so he wants to be there right in the pain. He wants you to, when you're yoked together, when you look at a yoke, there's not one, it's two. And he carries the weight, and he wants you to be yoked with him in the pain that you're going through. Second Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. And that's Claudia's testimony. She knew the Lord. She's with him now. She's dancing, and you always think of all those that have gone before us. They're witnesses. They're waiting for us. They're cheering us on. That one day we'll be with them all together. And there was a poem here, and it's called Success by Bessie Anderson Smith. She has achieved success who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much, who has enjoyed the trust of pure men and women, the respect of intelligent men and women, the love of little children, who has filled her niche and accomplished her task, who has left the world better than where she found it, whether by an improved copy, a perfect poem, or a rescued soul, who has never lacked approval of earth's beauty or failed to express it. And that's Claudia. She was able to do that in her walk here on earth, and now she's joyously jumping in heaven. And if you could, the way I would like to end is with the 23rd Psalm. And if you could just, I do this, if you could just repeat it after me. And it's great psalm because it tells us we're all sheep, and sheep are the dumbest animals on the earth. They need a shepherd. And my last name is Lamb. So it goes like this. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For you are with me. Yeah, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and love shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
Boy.
Everything very well said. Very happy to see all of you here. So many beautiful people in my life. So many beautiful people in my mom's life. I'd like to invite my grandpa up here to say a couple words. Good with that?
Yeah, I'm old, but it's a blessing. I shake a lot, but I always have, just more as I get older. Dad is what Claudia called me. Daughter is what I called her. She loved pets, plants, animals, flowers, just about everything you could think of. Her favorite flower was yellow hibiscus. Most of you know it originates in Hawaii. In fact, she liked just about everything you can think of Hawaiian. She was studying the Hawaiian language, didn't completely master it, but then again, I don't know if any non-native ever does. Hence the Hawaiian shirt, out of respect for her. She had a cat named Kiki, still, which means child in Hawaiian, as I understand it. I'm not a translator. And she has a dog, and both of them have her personality, believe it or not. Very gentle. The dog is a Rhodesian Ridgeback. And when I say gentle and Rhodesian Ridgeback, people are going, oh, yeah, I know about Rhodesian Ridgebacks. Those are the ones that got the little hump there and they're originally trained in Rhodesia. No, this dog is really gentle. Of course, if you come to the front door and she doesn't know you, you will not come in the house, mostly out of fear for her bark. Let's see. What else was I going to say? Something brilliant and inspired, I'm sure, but escapes me for the moment. I appreciate you all being here and the things and thoughts that you've expressed. Thank you very much.
Very well said. I have a little something I wanted to share. I tried a lot to think of something to write or even say anything, and it's hard for me to have words right now. But what I'd like to share is I feel blank as I search for the words to describe how I feel in this moment. I never imagined that I would be here at this age. I can't imagine life without my mom by my side, cheering me on through every step. I am humbled by the blessing it is to have a mother that loves me so fiercely. She stuck with me through every moment and never asked for anything in return. She gave me unconditional love, a feeling many search for through their whole lives. I choose not to drown in the pain of not having her here with me. My heart lights up with the knowing of the love that she had for me. I want to move forward forever and carry the legacy of the love that she gave to me, and I hope all of you feel the same way. I hope we can all create for our loved ones the home that she created for us. I feel jolts of pain when I think of something funny and I want to call her to laugh with her, but I'm lucky to have ever had that connection with her. As much as it may seem that she's gone at times, I know she was always by my side. She is the roar of the ocean. She is the bird singing in the morning. She is forever smiling over me and telling me everything's going to be okay. Thank you all so much for coming out. I'm going to take some time to move inside, grab some snacks, take some seats, take as much time as you need. I'll have a slideshow to play for us, and we'll have a couple more guest speakers. Thank you.
Claudia's reach was vast. The impact she had on so many lives is a testament to the extraordinary person that she was. I stand in awe of the connections and the precious time she invested in every individual who had the privilege of knowing her. I've had so many people reach out. This is funny. I've had a ton of people reach out, and I shared this with Jonathan. I had no idea how many people she touched over the years. And all of them said, she was my dearest friend, in fact, my best friend. And so in the hospital, I looked over to Jonathan. I said, all right, Jonathan, who is really her best friend? I'm gonna let him keep that secret, but I know it was funny. I'm like, who is it, Jonathan? Tell me, give me the secret. So, anyways, he's got it. I'm gonna let him keep that. You'll have to tap him on the shoulder. But even in the face of her illness, Claudia remained an unwavering pillar of strength. Her attitude was nothing short of extraordinary. She carried herself with such positivity that was truly awe-inspiring. Claudia believed in a power much greater than herself, and she entrusted her journey to the love and support of all of her friends, her co-workers, and her family, especially Jonathan. He gave her such purpose and was the driving force behind all of the success that she had. There was not a day in that 19 years that I didn't get a wonderful story about Jonathan. And so the love that she felt for you is just immense. I've never seen such love. The impact, obviously, Claudia, her warmth, her kindness, her boundless compassion will forever resonate in my heart. Her legacy is one of inspiration, of resilience, and just really the profound difference that one person can make on the lives of so many. I hope that each and every one of you had the privilege of getting to know Claudia as I did. She was more than just a colleague. She was a dear friend. Claudia leaves behind a legacy that we can all aspire to. Her memory will serve as a reminder of the power of kindness, the importance of nurturing relationships. There is nobody that has nurtured and developed stronger relationships than Claudia Golden. I will say that. So I think the last words, Jonathan gave us the pleasure of seeing Claudia, and think my last words to her, which I'll leave with you guys, is you're a badass, and I'm just so grateful to have spent 19 years together. So thank you so much. And Jonathan, thank you for letting me share a few words.
I definitely know she enjoyed all of those years working with you as well. And I don't think there was 19 years that went by without me hearing your name. Wonderful stories as well. Mostly all of them. I have a couple more people that I have talked to about coming to speak. And then once we do that, I'd like anyone that would like to come speak to come up. So Terry, would you like to come speak? Cool. He's standing in for Danita. Yeah. Unless you have your own. I do. Okay.
You have to time me.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Terry Hammond, and we all have to talk about our connection a little bit. And I think I've only known Claudia for about, I don't know, 25 years or so. So it seems like just last week, though. And I came into her life, was honored through Bill and Carla. I had the opportunity to serve in the United States Navy. And I can remember I was so excited. I got orders to Coronado. Didn't know where it was, but I was excited about it. I get there and I'm looking for a place to live. For those of you who aren't familiar with Coronado, it's a unique island. Things happen there kind of in a peculiar way. So if you want to rent an apartment, back in the late 1990s, you didn't have all this, a nice way to go look up things. You waited for the Coronado Eagle to come out. And when this Eagle came out, it listed all the properties that maybe were for rent or for sale. So sure enough, it came out, I think 8 o'clock. I'd circled this note here, 147 J Avenue. I'm going there. I'm going to figure this place out. So I get there, and sure enough, there's this wonderful lady who met me there, Carla. And I said, well, I'm new here. I've just gotten orders here, and I would like to know if I can rent your apartment. She's like, well, I don't know. well, I'm going to need a deposit check and I'm going to need this. I'm going to need to do a background check and all these other things. I'm going to have to talk to my husband about all this, but sure, just give me your information. So I want to say about an hour later, I get a call. Well, you've been approved. When do you want to move in? Like, wow, this place is fantastic. So as time went on, I kind of realized that Carla did not do a background check. She didn't do anything but just, understand that the universe had connected us. And then, of the many years that we knew each other, we would go on walks around Coronado early in the morning, and the people would just look at us. Who is this white lady with this little black boy? What is going on? And then so we kind of pause and say, we need to connect this relationship properly, because this is where people are talking, She says, well, let me see. I really can't just be your friend. That sounds wrong. I said, well, maybe. And then we said, well, maybe we can, my daughter's your age. I said, yes. Okay. So that means you're probably my mom, right? She says, well, people will talk about that too. How about I'm your godmother? Oh, absolutely. And then so once we came, I think we shared that with Claudia. She was ecstatic to have another brother. Sorry, David. And it just connected then. So that's kind of my connection with them. And I think I've moved away from Coronado, moved back, Bill, twice to live in the same place. And just as time, went on, Claudia and I always stayed connected. You saw in the photos there, you cannot see Claudia and not see Carla, and vice versa. And just the infectious laugh and smile. I mean, I'm even smiling just thinking about Claudia smiling, because it is just that tremendous. As time went on, I was able to really just see the love pour out of Claudia. She's touched all of us in this room in a very positive way. Believe it or not, I was big macho Navy guy, and I could handle anything. But I tell you, I got a lot of inspiration from Claudia, because if I was having some trouble, she'd always say some very, very strong words to kind of motivate you through it. Like if I had a bad boss, she said, screw that boss. This is what you need to do. She always had, something kind of sassy to say, but it was usually spot on. So I appreciate that about her. We would make sure we called each other regularly. You haven't called me. You missed my birthday. I'm like, yeah, I know I missed your birthday. Okay, well, I'll make it up to you. Okay. So we really kind of had that brotherly and sisterly banter back and forth. And I always appreciated that. And we could go on with the stories of Jonathan and how she poured out love to him and dad, as she called him. And I think as later we translate, we start calling you grandpa. Sorry, Bill. But that's just kind of where you are. So not only you're my godfather, you're my dad, you're my grandpa as well. Only when I talk to Jonathan, I have to call you grandpa. So, and I just want to also connect kind of my sister, who I don't know if she's listening on Zoom, but I'm just going to say it anyway. It seems like, whoever my family and love is, she's always connecting too. Like, I can't have anything, can I? But I tell you what, my sister is warm and loving and always very giving. I mean, she's a commercial banker, but you wouldn't know it, because she seems to have this gift for taking care of people. And that was a connection that she and Claudia were able to put together, because Claudia would take care of you. You won't even know you're being taken care of. And it's like, well, how'd that happen? I took care of that. So I just wanted to say thank you all for my opportunity to give some remarks. But my sister told me I had to also give her remarks. So Jonathan, is it okay? Okay. I don't know how many people you here met Danita Hammond, my sister. A few of you. So she's a force. And I tell you, she and Claudia together, I don't know what category hurricane that is, but stand by. I would just do exactly what they said, because that's just the way it is. So again, I'm through with my remarks. I'm not going to use my sister's voice because she'll yell at me. So I'm just going to read it in my own voice. So this is from my sister Danita. She says, you do not have to be blood to be family. And if I haven't already echoed that, or you all have heard that, I mean, I'm part of the Stern Streeter family. I don't care what anyone says. You can't always, judge a book by its cover. Clearly, I probably look more related to Jonathan than Claudia does. Just saying. Okay. Well, anyway, my sister goes on to write. Claudia was my sister from another mother. I owe this profound sisterhood to my brother and to her mother, Carla, for their friendship of 20 plus years. We could have called ourselves family friends, but that didn't do it justice. Again, for you do not have to be blood to be family. And I'm going to agree with my sister here. There is not a person in this room that did not know how much my sister loved Hawaii. On one trip that they took, my sister was always very good about connecting and traveling. I think Claudia invited me 700 times to go to Hawaii. I guess I got to go with you now, Jonathan, huh? We're going. But on one of the trips there, they walked the beach. They talked about life. They giggled like schoolgirls. And can anyone attest to that? When they get together, they start giggling and laughing, for sure. They were just appreciating the time that they had with one another. To many of us, Claudia remains a symbol of positivity, a symbol of hope, that symbol of reason. Ooh, tough love. Again, if you weren't getting it right, she was going to tell you. You had better recognize that. Also, she was a bonus mom to many. And of course, right, Jill? A best friend. She was much like the banyan tree, where her roots ran deep in rich soil. She allowed us all to not only be ourselves, but like the banyan tree branches, she united so many of us, just as we are all united here in this room. The request from Danita is that we all please take a moment, look around. Really, go ahead and look around. We're here today because Claudia brought us all together. We are all very different, but she loved us all in her own way. She made every one of us feel loved. We understand that people come into our lives perhaps for just a season, but most often for a reason. And with that, allow one another to stay in your heart for a lifetime. One more request from my sister. I told you she was bossy, right? She's always asking for things, and I already know better. Go ahead and do what she asked. She asked each of us in these coming days and months and years to continue to celebrate Claudia. Not only to celebrate Claudia, but to remember to not only check on Jonathan. And I got to tell Mr. Lamb, you call him Johnny. I recognize that. It seems like you kind of transition through life at some times. Now you go from Jonathan, but he'll always be Jonathan to me. Why? Because Claudia called him Jonathan. But not only to take care of Jonathan and check on him, but of course, Bill, her beloved Bill. We didn't go anywhere where we didn't say, oh, we got to make sure we bring Dad some food, or we got to make sure we check on Dad, or we got to make sure whatever, Dad, right? Or we got to check on Grandpa. So we have to make sure that we check on one another. And most importantly, please stay connected to those you love, because remember, family is not always blood. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Jordan. Dia was my stepmom for about 20 years. She was part of my life since I was 6 or 7 years old. When I was younger and a lot dumber, I thought she was always just trying to kill my fun. I mean, she wouldn't even let me drink endless cans of soda throughout the day. And heaven forbid, she stopped me from eating Jet Puff marshmallow cream straight out of the can with a spoon at 11 p.m. in her garage. That's a true story. When she caught me, she laughed while saying, "What are you doing? That's disgusting." She took the jar away and told me it was time for bed. We laughed about that time many times over the year. As I got older, I realized Dia wasn't there just to stop me from having fun. She was treating me like any mother would her child. And even though I'm not biologically her son, she still loves me wholeheartedly and never failed to express that. She'd go out of her way to pick me up from the train station when I'd come to visit, and that was only if she didn't drive all the way down to come pick me up herself. She took me on my very first vacation to Hawaii, of course, made sure I had a good time while I was there and that I had exciting experiences and saw fascinating sights. There was even a period while I was living at her house, but I was still going to school in Orange County. And she would drive me all the way to school from San Diego every morning. I think about that now and I can't imagine waking up even 15 minutes early for someone else's kid, let alone the 1 to 2 hours that she did for me. Especially to go sit in traffic for 2 hours with that kid. And to top it off, I wasn't exactly the cheeriest kid, so I'm sure my attitude was subpar at best most of those days. But she did it nevertheless, and she never complained about it or made me feel like I was an inconvenience or an unwanted obligation. Speaking of getting up early for work, Dia is absolutely one of, if not the hardest working, most reliable people I've ever known. She was always working, she loved her work, and even while fighting through cancer, she refused to stop. Aside from work, though, one thing Dia undoubtedly loves more is her son, my brother Jonathan. She loves him to the end of the universe and back again. Every ounce of her being exists for her son, and she'd do anything if it would benefit him in even the slightest. He truly is her whole world, and that's always been clear for everyone to see. In later years, we'd talk on the phone, and the conversation would always end up on Jonathan. What he was up to lately, what his latest adventures or accomplishments were, or who his latest girlfriend was, and everything in between. To Dia, Jonathan's the funniest, smartest, most handsome man to ever exist, and she did an amazing job loving him and raising him into the kind, intelligent, diligent, good-hearted man that he is today. And no mother could be more proud of her son than she is of him. Occasionally, usually on Mother's Day, I'd reach out to her and thank her for being such a terrific mother to my brother and let her know how grateful I am for that. But aside from all that, Dia's overall just a truly wonderful person who strived and succeeded to leave a good impression on anyone she encountered. And all of you here are a testament to that. Dia was also a believer in God and a believer in Christ. Over the years, we've had conversations in which we concluded that we both agree that everything happens for a reason. She knew that no matter what it may be, that it was meant to be, and that fact remains true. Dia played her part, and she played it damn well, better than most. She left her mark on all of us and beyond, and now it's time for her to go home. I look forward to the day I join you again, Dia, but until then, I'll always miss you. I love you with all my heart. May your soul rest in peace in the house of the Lord our God forever and ever.
Thank you, Jordan. It's beautifully worded, beautifully written. I have two more people that I've written down. Sandy, would you like to come up and speak? And then Gigi proceeding. And then I'd like to open it up for anyone that would like to share some words. In the meantime, I have to use the restroom.
Hi, my name is Sandy Taylor. I met Claudia roughly around 1983. My cousin and her are like sisters. And I have had the honor of having a relationship with Claudia over the phone and a couple of trips that we did. But I know Claudia loved Jonathan with all of her heart. Her and I are in the only child club. We had one child, so but Claudia had an additional child. besides you and the other man, Jin. I spent a lot of time on the phone with Claudia. And she was like, Jin, where are you? I mean, and this little girl, she did everything she could for Claudia. And I just wanted her to be recognized because her little heart is broken into a million pieces. So Jennifer, thank you for being so good to Claudia and being there for her. And I just wanted to say that Claudia is a really unique person because she was a fixer. She went around trying to fix everybody, and now I see it. Now that she's gone, I've heard stories, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought she was just fixing me. But no, she was trying to fix all of us, all the way to the end. I mean, I was on the phone with her, and this gives me chills, Sunday night, and my cousin and I were coming, and she's like, okay, we're going to fix your daughter as soon as you get down here, because my daughter lives here. She's like, I'm going to get in the car with you and we're going to go fix her. And I'm like, good. Okay. Finally, I'm going to get something done with my daughter, who's doing really well. It's just, anyways, Claudia, again, the fixer, she was going to fix everything. And I'm going to miss Claudia a lot. She was one of the hardest working women that I've ever known besides me. Her and I were a lot alike. Okay. And I'm just going to miss her. I'm going to miss, and when she was sick, she'd say something to make me laugh, because laughter, makes you feel better. And even when she was in her sickness, she's like, think of something. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me tell you a story. Okay. And so and I know she loved her dad because I was there in the mornings when she took him coffee. That's when I was like, Bill, I know how you like your coffee. I know when you like it. I was on the phone with her. Okay. And so I'm just really going to miss Claudia. I'm going to miss her therapy because she was unlicensed, but she was the greatest therapist, okay, in the world. And so I just wanted to acknowledge I love her and I know she's in heaven. And Godspeed, Claudia, and I love you, and I'll see you again.
Hi, everybody. Give me 1 second. I gotta breathe. Claudia made a huge impact on me with her kind, loving, unconditional, and accepting nature. I remember one Christmas time back in 2019, I was alone and deeply depressed. I was going through a very difficult time as I had just lost a dear mother figure of mine to cancer, starting another process of homelessness and insecurity. Johnny was my first consistent friend in San Diego and had invited me to spend that holiday time with his family. I was so nervous to accept, like super anxious. He assured me that it was safe and welcoming space. Understanding how deep my hurt was, he continued to message me the kindest words of reassurance and support until I agreed, which I'm forever thankful for because that was the night I met his wonderful mother, Claudia, who had welcomed me into her family with open arms, with no time in between. When you were with her, it felt like you were her very own child and also her best friend at the same time. Claudia made me feel loved, welcomed, warm, and so very happy. Being in Claudia's presence, I felt truly safe. Something that I hadn't had for as long as I could remember, and something I had needed dearly at that time, as well as something I'd carry with me in my heart forever. We spent that night playing cards together with her best friends, eating her super yummy home-cooked food, and talking about how hot the Game of Thrones actor Jason Momoa was. I just remember her laughter brightening up the whole room, and it felt like this bright, glowing warmth that was hugging my heart. Everybody was genuinely smiling and laughing, really living in the present moment. We were all so connected. I felt like I could really be myself and relax in any space she was in. That feeling she'd create would heal parts of me each time I had the honor of being in her presence. Or from just hearing the cute, precious, heart-centered stories from Johnny that would put a smile on my face and cause my heart to warm up all over again, just like that first night. Whenever I needed a place to come and rest, I was welcomed with open arms by both Claudia and Johnny. People like Claudia are rare and precious, and it's people like her that heal the hurt in this hurt world. If there's anything she's taught me, it's to be unconditionally loving to those around you, and to be that warm, kind, accepting, and loving peace for those in need of it. My hope is to continue creating a home as beautiful as she did, in hopes that I may offer that same safe, warm, and joyous space for those in need, as she did for me and so many others. Thank you.
Dang, Jonathan, you are a blessed man. I mean, your mother, you're the wrestling, the trips to Oregon that you went on, and I used to just love hearing all about your life and everything. I wish my kids would be as kind and gentle as you. You're just a good man, and anything you ever need, just let me know. I'd love to help you and be a part of your life, moving forward. I'm nowhere good with words like the rest of everybody that spoke, but I wrote some stuff down, and I wrote it almost like I'm just, talking to your mother. And it's, dear Claudia, you're my sister Gold, and our golden lady. What a fun time we had. I love working with the legend of driver staff and skilled trades now. So she became a master of another one. I'm blessed to have worked with you. And a lot of people probably maybe they know this or don't know this, but I knew Claudia even before I came to this world of driver staff, and she was my vendor. She used to work for American Driver Leasing, and her sidekick Juan Jefferson used to always wanted me to sign the contract and do some business with him. Never did until the golden lady made me sign the contract. So I had to do business, and I'm glad I did business with her. And through the years, we knew a lot of people together, and finally I took that step into the driver leasing world and went to work for a competitor of Claudia's. But that competitor, one day we're all sitting at a table like, hey, how do we grow the business? How do we take that next step? And we're just sitting here in the Starbucks, and every one of us said, let's hire Claudia Golden. But she wouldn't even consider. I was the one that was nominated to call and ask. Sorry, Jill. but she said no, and it was because of her relationship with Jill and her love of the TLC family and Centerline. So wasn't able to make that happen, but the Lord blessed us, and I was able to work on the same team with Claudia. She took me under her wing. The two of us were passionate about our roles on the national accounts team and growing DMS. She made sure that everyone would work closely with me. I mean, that was so critical when I came into working at Centerline, Jonathan. Your mother took me under her wing, and she made sure that everybody would work with me, and she made sure that I was nice to everybody, and did what I had to do to be successful here at Centerline. Would have never made it without all of her help and guidance. Yeah, actually, because of her, I flourished in my role. She taught me that driver management side, and It's really where I needed to be. We used to say we ham and egged it. Like she'd be the nice person on the deal. I'd be the person coming in there. Let's get this done. But man, we worked so well together. Sometimes we didn't work well together. Sometimes we would butt heads and we would go at it. And funny thing, one time we were at a bad point in our time, and Jill called us into the new San Bernardino office. And from that day on, we really left there inseparable. I mean, not a day went by that the two of us weren't connecting or networking together, or, hey, brother, go on LinkedIn and get me this. I mean, we were always working together and networking together. Our friendship was so close that we became family. I became her brother. So she called me brother, and she was my sister. I'm an only child, so at least I have Claudia as my sister. The best of times for me working at Centerline has been the times that Claudia, myself, and Jill were on the road visiting clients, coast to coast, going to trade shows, doing our things. One day I had to look it up. I looked in a dictionary, to find out what this word exceptional relationships meant. And really, it pointed me, see Claudia Golden, because she was the master of the exceptional relationship. Heck, even last week I was at a trade show, and more people were asking about your mother than anything else. I mean, she knew people coast to coast around the world. I mean, this lady was something. I remember going to her own mother's funeral. That was something, Marianne, myself, a lot of us here went to that. But that's how close we weren't like workers. We were like family together. Oh, most importantly, Claudia, thank you, sister, for helping me on my journey with Christ. I mean, Claudia and a few other people in my life really took a pretty tough dude and made me a gentle guy. And she helped me on that journey with Christ. I enjoyed our conversations and prayer. We prayed almost every time we would talk, we would pray together. I mean, we would pray. She was such a good Christian. Unbelievable. She also was the person that really, I didn't think I would ever get married again. I've been married a few times in my life, and horrible person here, but I'm a sinner. I'm forgiven. But it was Claudia that told me, put a ring on Sherry, marry her. And I did. I looked for that opportunity, and I figured, okay, well, I'm going to have to choose a date that I'll never forget. I'm forgetful. So I did it on 12/12. So December 12th, 2012, because I'll never forget that date, 12/12/12. Unfortunately, and Claudia was like, that's a great idea, book it, call the courthouse there in Stockton, get it done. So I didn't realize that I've been married before on December 12th. Yeah. So I've been married twice on December 12th, but so her words and actions truly helped me in becoming a better person. I still have a long way to go. Claudia, watch over me, please. In Christ we trust. I always loved how she loved animals, the little pigs, the horses, the cats, the dogs. And we had a thing, Jonathan, that was cool. So your mom and me talked almost every single morning. Like, she texts me like at 2:30. Brother, are you up? Can you call me real quick? Yeah, of course. But the funny thing is, at that time in the morning, I'm a little silly. I'm not as serious as I might be during the day. But we would talk like our animals. Like I would talk, "Hi, Claudia, it's me, Gunner." And she would trip on me. And I would put the cats. I have 10 cats. So my cats would talk to your cat. And it was pretty cool. It was cool. Oh, God. OMG, sister, we had some fun. Claudia, I know you can hear me. You're in paradise. I love you, and I can't wait to hang out with you in paradise. The Golden Lady, rest in peace in the arms of Christ. I promise to take great care of your clients. I won't let you down. Never. Thanks, Jonathan.
And the cats still won't stop meowing. 3 a.m. I just hear. If no one else has anything to share, I think now is a good time for us to Roman West. No, you're good. Yeah, I'm happy.
What's up, y'all? My name's Roman. Been best friends with Johnny since 6th grade, and honestly, like, Claudia's, what is it, 3rd son, 4th son, 5th son, however many of us are here, that many sons, of Claudia's since then. And just when I think of her, like, all I can think of is like the definition of like hospitality. She was always, that house was the place all of us would always go every weekend. We'd spend weekends, weeks. If you needed a place to stay, that's where you would go. Like that, like wherever she was the haven, It was the safety in the place you'd go if you needed somewhere to go. I remember one time in particular, I was helping them unload groceries that she had just got, and out of the bag we pull out like a box of, or like a container of Gatorade or whatever, and I was like, oh, it's the blue kind, it's my favorite. And she's like, Roman, why do you think I bought them for you? And I was like, I don't even live here. But she's like, you live here on the weekends, so it's close enough. But yeah, or there'd be that, or experiencing my first hangover at her house, where she's like, Roman, you're not sick, you're just hungover. Here, take some medicine, you'll be fine. And I was like, okay, whatever you say, Miss Claudia. But definitely we'll always miss those moments that I had with her, and we'll cherish them deeply, and just always will. You guys are always family, and Johnny, you're always my brother, and I appreciate you, and I love you, bro. Love you, Miss Claudia. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Stacy. I am a relative newbie here to this beautiful menagerie that Claudia created. I grew up in Manteca, and I knew Claudia then only tertiarily, through my childhood friend, John. John and she were good buds, and so I would hear about their antics from afar. And then I moved to Long Beach and John to Hawaii, and it wasn't until about 7 years ago that Claudia and my paths officially crossed. John had come to Vegas from Hawaii, and Claudia was there for the weekend, and he said, come on down. So I did, and there Claudia and Roxanne were, and I got to meet them, and Claudia's like, well, I got to go. And I'm like, wait, I just got here. And she's like, call me when you get home. And so I did. And I thought we became best friends. And so it's funny, I was talking to somebody about today and needing to wear teal, and they said, what color is teal exactly? And I said, it's this color between blue and green, and I'm going to look it up. Let me look it up. And so the definition of teal actually says that it combines the calming properties of blue with the renewal qualities of green. And it's a revitalizing and invigorating color that reopens the conversation and clarity of thought. And it just reminded me perfectly of Claudia. I feel like I have known Claudia for 1,000 lifetimes. Like we just fit together like a worn baseball glove. From the moment I met her, it felt so familiar and comfortable and right. And I have never had a kinship with another woman like her in my life. She passed no judgment. From the moment I met her, it was the oddest thing. I mean, me coming into Vegas, carrying my luggage through the casino, and she on her way out. And it was an odd moment. That could have gone, it could have just been very odd, and it wasn't. And when she got back, I came to her house and stayed for about a week. And it was like I knew her forever. We've spent many days running to Tijuana for medically necessary procedures. to the piercing salon to get her nose ring replaced, and we would talk nearly daily. So like Jill said, I think in the hospital, like, when did she get any work done? And she was talking to all kinds of people. She had so many friends. I am going to miss her so much. She never complained about anything. She held herself so high. She, even when she had reason not to, she smiled and told me everything was going to be okay. Claudia was not my best friend. She was everybody's Claudia. She was caring and kind and giving and compassionate. And I don't know that I will ever have another friendship like the one that I enjoyed with her. I'm so grateful to have known her and to have witnessed her affection and immeasurable love for Jonathan, and to know how proud she is of you and all you are doing. I am so grateful to have been a part of her life, and I look forward to continuing to be in yours, Jonathan. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joanne Fairchilds, and I'm Claudia's cousin. And I just had a little something that I wrote down that I remembered her by. She's my cousin. Bear with me. Sorry to say that heaven has received another angel, my beautiful, sweet cousin, Claudia Golden. It has taken me a while to gather my feelings and just cut through the shock of it all. Claudia had a beautiful, giving heart, and she was a loving mother. I'll never forget the pretty girl. It starts to get funny. Let's see, where was I? Sorry, Claudia. I'll never forget the pretty girl with the golden braids sitting on the school benches between the classes on one summer day at Rose Avenue School for summer school, where we met. She didn't know me from Adam. A boy pulled her by her braids during recess and caused her to fall backwards, and she was crying. I saw this happen and I ran after him and beat him up. We didn't run into each other the rest of the day. The next day, we were having dinner at Grandma and Grandpa Streeter's house. Guess who was at the dinner table across from me? The pretty girl with the golden braids, Claudia Golden, and her brother David, our future cousins. At that time, my mom and dad were just dating, and my dad was about to marry my mother, Aurelia Streeter. And we weren't even cousins yet, but yet this all happened, and it was amazing. The next day, we were having dinner at Grandma and Grandpa Streeter's house. And guess who was sitting across the table from me? The pretty girl with the golden braids, Claudia Golden, and her brother David, our future cousins. We both looked at each other with big smiles on our faces. And I said, I know you. And she said the same thing to me. And then we were talking amongst each other across the dinner table. But we had a really fun childhood together. We spent time at Grandma and Grandpa Streeter's house, on the ranch, at the cabin. And we even got to spend a summer that I was talking to David about. We went to Aunt Dot and Uncle Curly's house up in Oregon, I believe it was, Portola. And I remember Grandma and Grandpa Streeter were so afraid to send, there was 5 of us, teenagers, all together up to Aunt Dot and Uncle Curly's house because she was afraid we were going to tear each other apart. But we had so much fun, so many memories. And I just want to end it with this. I'm still having a tough time letting her go. But I know she's in a better place now and not in any more pain. It just hurts me that I couldn't be that cousin to save her again, like I did back then. I want you all to just please keep the family, and especially her beloved son, Jonathan, in your thoughts and prayers. My beloved cousin, Claudia Golden, may you rest in peace. You will forever be in my broken heart until we meet again. Thank you.
Well, I'm very happy to hear all of these beautiful stories about my mom and all of the connections and how deep they go in every which way. I think now would be a time to just socialize with each other, grab some more bites to eat, maybe meet some people that you don't know. And yeah, thank you all so much for coming here. I'd like to thank some of the hospital staff in her last visit, some extraordinary human beings who made a huge impact on my life and my mother's life and the time she had left. I wish I remember all of their names, but I know one in particular, Dr. Ingadula, amazing man who was very strong for me. He was a light for me in a dark time. So yeah, closing us out. Thanks to the hospital staff. Thank you for everyone for being here. It's good to see a lot of you. I haven't seen a lot of you in years. And yeah, let's all have a good time and remember my mom as the beautiful woman she always is. Thank you.
goodbye. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue, and I see clouds of white, and the brightness of day. I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. were there for me to love and care for me when skies were gray. Whenever I was down, you were always there to comfort me. And no one else can be what you have been to me. You will always be, you will always be the girl in my life for all time. Mama, Mama, you know I love you. Ooh, you know I love you, Mama. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the stars. Yes, it is. Mama, I just want you to know, loving you is like food to my soul. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, you're always down for me, have always been around for me, even when I was bad. You've shown me right from my wrongs. Yes, you did. And you took up for me when everyone was down on me. You always did understand. You gave me strength to go on. There were so many times looking back when I was so afraid. And then you come to me and say to me, I could face anything. And no one else can do what you've done for me. You'll always be, you will always be the girl in my life. Ooh, oh, Mama, Mama, you know I love you. You know I love you. You know I love you, Mama. Ooh, Mama, you're the queen of my heart. You are. Your love is like tears from the stars. Your love is like tears from the stars. Mama, I just want you to know. Mama, I just want you to know. Loving you is like food to my soul. Never gonna go a day without you. Fills me up just thinking about you. I'll never go a day without my mama. You know, mama, you know I love you. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. The queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the stars. Your love is like tears from the stars. Mama, I just want you to know. Mama, loving you is like food to my soul. Loving you is like food to my soul. Oh, yeah. You are the food to my soul.
I just called to tell you I love you.